Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, believe. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. Believe. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, believe. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart, heart,
Yes, people. Guess who's back? I'm back. I'm back from Germany. I had an absolutely fantastic trip in Dortmund. What a place, man. What a stadium. The Borussia Dortmund Stadium, the yellow wall, the lager, the people. It was a fantastic footballing experience. So, obviously, I wasn't around for the Dortmund preview or the Dortmund review. I hope you enjoyed the streams that Joe and Dara did for those. I hope they did the channel justice, as they always do. But listen, I'm back. I'm here for this stream. We're going to talk a bit about the links with Lionel Messi. I saw that we're also linked with that guy just before we went live, Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk. I've seen him a few times. He's a serious baller. We may touch in on that. There's quite a lot of transfer news. Obviously, Jude Bellingham as well. We're going to talk about. I want to talk about these things. We didn't actually discuss this before we went live, but I want to talk about these possible transfers because I'm excited. But we're also going to touch in on, of course, the big game for us this weekend. Tomorrow at 12:30, we play Leicester away. I think that has sticky game written all over it. We're not playing well recently. Leicester have a feel-good factor about their team right now. It's going to be a tricky one, people. You can expect that. And of course, there's Haaland injury news, and apparently he's feeling ill. Or there's plenty to talk about, people. This is going to be a pretty good stream. There's a lot to talk about in the world of Manchester City. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back live. I did the Big Six last night. For those of you who watched the Big Six and you saw that, it was an absolutely wild one. You know, Expressions is an absolute mad cunt. he's fucking hilarious. He had me in stitches the whole time. So for those of you who watched that, I hope you enjoyed that. So that's why there was no stream anyway on this channel last night, because there's no point clashing with the Big Six. Big Six get the whole audience, and I can't do both at the same time. Listen, there's 15 people in the building. Let's get the likes up, people. Let's get the likes up. If you haven't hit the like button already, make sure you smash the like button. It gets more people in here, gets the channel out there. We've just passed 4.1k subscribers. We're very quickly on the road to 5k. We'd love to hit 5k, maybe by the very beginning of 2023, 1st of January 2023. Could we set that as a goal to hit 5k? Only you guys can make that happen. You, the 1894 community, can make that happen. Let's do it together as a team, people, as a community. Let's hit 5k together. Let's see who we've got in the building before we get into the depths of the conversation. And also, as I'm seeing who's in the building, make sure you get in your thoughts on Messi, Bellingham, Mudryk, Leao, Kvaratskhelia. I've learned how to pronounce his name since we were last live. I struggled. I think I was with Joe last week. We wanted to talk about him. Kvaratskhelia. See how well I'm doing here, yeah? See how perfect. Get me on Sky Sports, man. I can sit here and pronounce names all day. Bellingham, Kvaratskhelia.
That's what he was doing on his flights. That was what to and from Dortmund. That's what he was doing. He was just practicing the pronunciation.
When I was sitting on that 2-hour plane to Dusseldorf, I was just sitting there going Kvaratskhelia.
Oh, yeah, the K is silent. The K is silent.
I think, yes, the K is silent. But anyway, listen, he's linked with Manchester City. He's got a lengthy contract. We're going to get into it all, people. Get in your thoughts on all the transfers. Leicester tomorrow. Whatever you guys want to talk about. As always, these streams are as much for you as they are for us to get involved with. Get in your thoughts and we'll talk about whatever it is you guys think is worth talking about. Any interesting takes, send them in. Listen, who have we got? Sean Fogarty, Up the Blues, Mojis, my brother Mojis, good to see you. Darsh, CTID, of course, CTID, always. Get the likes up early, exactly, Mojis. Make sure the likes are up early, people. Darsh, have you seen City Extra tweet? We had a look at it just before we went live. We're going to address it very soon. There's a lot going on City Extra's page today. Shout out to them as always for the rapid updates, and it gives us stuff to talk about, doesn't it? It gives us more of an insight as to what the fuck's actually going on at our football club. I think Pep is taking the piss about United. They will need 3-4 years to be challenging unless Ten Hag does an ollie. Well, we may as well get into that at some point as well. Great intro music. Yeah, big up to, what's the guy's name? Shout him out.
Fitzy.
Yeah, Rebel's friend Fitzy. He makes music himself. I think he's linked in the description. If you want to check out more of his music, go help him out. Say the 1894 sent you. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. Yes, Patter, good to see you. I will not be reading out what you said. Patter, it's not. We do not condone that sort of banter on this channel, Patter. I hope you feel bad about that. Sean, imagine Messi, Haaland, Foden. Listen, there's a lot to think about here. Messi at Manchester City, people. We've been down this road a few times, and we're gonna go down it again. I would not go down any road or get on any hype train for any player 3 times. 3 fucking times, except for Messi. I think he's kind of the exception. You know what I mean? Even if this was Haaland, if Haaland binned us off twice before already, and we went in for him a 3rd time, I'd say fuck this guy. I'm not allowing myself to get hyped over a guy who's binned us off twice and took the piss out of us twice. But for Messi, you know what? You can just imagine it. Imagine Messi City. Imagine I got a Messi shirt on this wall behind me here. It would look maybe a match one, something like that. I don't know, man. We'll get into it all. Not gonna lie, I don't want Messi at this age. There's a bit of a debate there, people. And I mean, Messi is not a young man anymore. He's definitely not the creative, fast player he was under Pep back at in his prime Barcelona days. Messi's a very different player nowadays. But like I said, it is Lionel Messi, so it's kind of hard. Ferran, everyone highlights Arsenal lacking goals in recent matches, but we are also lacking goals and form. Absolutely, I think it's worth noting, and we will note that when we get to the Leicester talk later on the stream, that City are not playing good football right now. I was very drunk in Dortmund Stadium. I won't lie. I didn't analyze much of the game, you know what I mean? But what I did notice is we're not playing good football, and a lot of people did not impress me. Just to give you a bit of a precursor, Julian Alvarez, I want to have a talk about him later on the stream. I'm not impressed with him massively, but I'll talk about my thoughts in depth. Yes, lads, how we doing? Says Jay Millsy. Yes, Jay Millsy, good to see you. Emojis. Messi will take our focus away from more important places. We need to improve. We need a walker backup. Yes, Barry McGowan, good to see you. Emojis need to strengthen the midfield. Sean, I would love Messi. Messi, De Bruyne, Haaland, sign me up. Exactly, listen. It's great to see you all in the building getting your thoughts in. Keep getting your thoughts in, and we'll keep talking about whatever you think. Get your takes in, get your opinions in. Lads, anyways, I'm rambling on here a little bit. We may as well get straight into it. Lionel Messi is someone who, essentially, if we're being fully real, he took the piss out of us twice. Yeah, he took the piss out of us twice. We've been in for that guy twice. Allegedly, he'd shown interest, and he was like, yeah, I want to go back and play for Pep Guardiola. I want to link up with my favourite manager I've ever worked under. And we said, yeah, listen, we have the cash ready. We have a contract ready. We have a plan ready for you. You can do 2-3 years at City. Then you can fuck off to New York and do your thing out there and be the big dog out in America. It's all here for you. Basically, just sign the paper. Nah, staying at Barcelona, actually, I've decided. I think that suits me best. That happened twice. And then he ends up at PSG. And now it's gone full circle once again. Lionel Messi is not happy at PSG. I think it's fairly common knowledge, or at least it's public knowledge anyway, that Messi does not see his future any longer than, or any further past this season at PSG. He wants to leave again, or he wants to leave and go somewhere else. I think we'll get into it, but for me anyway, lads, there's only two options on the table here for Lionel Messi. There's, I said this on the City Extra yesterday with Lewis. I said there's a sentimental option and a career option for Lionel Messi. Which one means more to him? The sentimental option is he goes back to Barcelona, massively decreases his wages, and wins absolutely fuck all. You know, you can rule out that final Champions League to put the cherry on the cake. You can rule out that final major trophy to put the cherry on the cake. He's not winning fuck all if he goes back to Barcelona. I don't care if Lewandowski's there. That club is not in a position to be winning trophies right now. We've just seen them go down to the fucking Europa League, for God's sake. Messi is not going to fix that. He's not that guy anymore. And then the career option is he takes up that offer that I imagine if we do go in for Messi, we will offer him the exact same thing we offered him previously, which is come to City, spend 2 seasons playing for us in our first team. You won't have to play every single week. You'll play the big moments, and you'll play with Haaland, De Bruyne. It'll be absolutely fantastic, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll fuck off to New York then and be the big dog out in New York. Sentimental versus career. The career option, once again, I'll add on top of that, is there's a high possibility you'll win a Champions League in Manchester City. I know we haven't won it yet, but throw Messi in behind Haaland, beside De Bruyne. There's a recipe for trophies, people. There's a recipe for a Champions League there. And also, you know, there's a high possibility of Premier Leagues too. What are we thinking, lads? Sentimental versus career. What are we thinking, lads? Messi to Manchester City. How do you feel about the club pursuing him again? It's a sticky one, considering we've been roasted by him twice.
I think, yeah. Personally, it's. I find it funny how it's pretty much the exact same situation. Like, there are only still 3 clubs involved, and there have only been 3 clubs involved for the past 3 years. And now we just so happen to be at the other one that is the City. I have to agree with, I'm not sure who said it, but I do agree with one of the comments that said we kind of need to be strengthening in other areas before going out and buying Messi. Because, I mean, at the same time, though, we have a fucking, like, decaying mule on the right wing at the minute when Foden isn't playing there. Like, Mahrez, we've said our piece, and I'm not going any further. Mahrez is absolutely dog shit. Like, at the minute, lads.
Play Messi right wing. Play Messi right wing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? That is what I'm saying, right? You get that man out on the right wing, right? You replace. I'm sorry, I do mean to hate on Mahrez here for a minute, but you replace Mahrez with the goal. Like, that is a substantial upgrade. And at the same time as well, boys, just have to factor into the sense that this is a free budget wise. This is a free transfer. Like, we're not going to have to go and pay PSG any money because they're not, like, there won't be a transfer fee involved. There'll be a hefty signing on bonus, hefty wages, but there's no real, it's only a drop in the water. Was it a drop of water in the ocean? Is that the kind of phrase they use? It's that type of thing. Now, I know, a drop in the ocean. Like the wages will be huge, the signing on fee will be huge, but there's no transfer fee, meaning you can still go out and blow what about, I think I saw Romano quote about 80 to 150 million for Bellingham, which is a wide fucking margin. Yeah, a wide margin, but you can still go and spend that on Bellingham. You can get, can you pronounce it again?
Kvaratskhelia.
You could, in theory, taking out the Napoli hoodoo, you could, in theory, go out and get him as well to play.
I don't think so.
No, it's not gonna happen. Like, but
I don't think my first. We'll talk. We're gonna get back to Messi.
Yeah, we'll touch on him also. I'm throwing shit at a wall here. Like, you can, if you go and get Messi. Let's say if you go and get Messi, there is still a huge transfer budget. There's still a war chest to go and strengthen other areas. I think someone said a Walker backup as well. We don't need a Walker backup. We had this conversation the other day, and they said John Stone's playing that, Akanji's playing that, Rico Lewis is 17. Rico Lewis is not old enough to drink, and he is getting Champions League minutes. He's unreal. He's a very good footballer. We don't need a Walker backup at the minute. And we have Cancelo who plays there as well. I think it is a fucking... it's a bit of a sticky one. And he has burned us twice. But is that going to stop me from getting excited, realistically? Like, no, it's the go. Like, it is the go. But just put that, a little caveat at the end. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Whereas I will say, I'll do this live on stream just to spice it up a little bit. There's 26 people watching, so if you don't subscribe after this, there is something wrong with you. I will shave all my hair off if Messi joins.
There you go, people. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, put the notification bells on, because if Manchester City sign Lionel Messi, Darrell Revel will shave his head using... I'm not going to give them free promotion, but there's a razor here from a company that sponsors the Big Six. He'll use that razor and shave his head completely. Majid says clipped. It's clipped up now. If City sign Messi, you are shaving your head. I'm going to go up to Rebel's house. I'll go to Rebel's house myself.
You will not come near Tala. You will not come near Tala.
He'll come to Ranelagh. And then I'll put Rebel in this chair. I'll put him in this chair right here, and I'll shave his head live on camera if Messi signs for Manchester City. That's a deal. It's been clipped up. Moji says you clipped up. You're locked in now, mate. And he's on a fucking free transfer, man. The odds are higher than ever. That hair of yours.
But what if I said I was only messing?
I don't mind that now.
Moji says you clipped up.
No take backs.
Come on, like, what if I said I was only messing?
No take backsies, mate. No taking backsies. Listen, really quickly, Darrell Riley in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. Is Haaland injured? Need him for fancy tomorrow. We're going to get into Haaland later on the stream, but just for your fancy. I know you're probably not going to stay for the whole stream. I wouldn't put him in my fantasy if I was you. That's all I'll say right now.
I have him in.
Ooh.
I have him in. I just haven't got him captain. I was actually talking to Dara last night after the match.
I wouldn't put him in. Dara basically is my advice to you, but it's still it's 50-50. Anyways, Joe, you give us your thoughts on everything the Rebels said about it not being an area of the pitch that we need to strengthen, badly. But I think just to kind of summarize what you're saying, if we are to get Messi, it's a luxury signing and a commercial signing. Obviously, he's going to help the team because he's Lionel fucking Messi, but we don't desperately need him, essentially.
Murray, just before Joe says that, Murray, I just realised you're not going to like it, because if Messi comes in, that is a drastic reduction on Jack Grealish's minutes.
Yeah, forget Messi then. We don't need Grealish over Messi every second. If you think Messi is a better footballer than Jack Grealish, you're sick in the head. If you think Messi is better than Grealish, you're sick in the head, people. Grealish is clear of Messi. He's always been clear. Who's Messi played for? Prime Barcelona? Jack Grealish got Villa promoted from the Championship, people. I don't even believe myself right now. Joe,
no, jeez. Just clip it completely out of context, brother. You got me, you're getting him.
Please, save that one.
Joe, please save this right now.
Save that one, Jeez. Send it to the Big Six on Twitter, please. I'm begging.
Let's give it to Skullduggery. Skullduggery will go to work on it.
Oh, Jesus.
Keep it away from Skullduggery. Keep it away from Skullduggery.
No, can you text him now?
Right, okay, Messi. If you say no to Messi, then who are you saying yes to? Like, it's Messi. Come on, lads. It's Messi. Like... I understand. I understand. People say I saw the ones sort of right back was flown around, midfield was flown around. Listen, if you put Messi on the right wing, do you think Foden's been dropped or moved on to the left where he's less effective? No, you just drop him into midfield. It technically solves the midfield problem by signing Messi, freeing up Foden to play deeper. And again, I don't think we need a right back. I love this whole fullback thing. I think we're fine in defence. We've got 8 players who can cover numerous defensive positions at the back four. That is more than enough to get through. Most of those players being able to play in 2 different positions as well. Sorted. I don't think we need anything defensively unless anyone leaves. But I kind of echo the whole, I don't think there's a chance. I think there's no chance. I think that if he's going to leave PSG, it'll be to go back to Barcelona. Because I think I think Manchester Evening News said he was unsettled. I don't believe that. I don't believe he's unsettled for 1 minute. He's playing with Neymar, his best mate. I know Mbappe's being a bit of a prick right now, but I mean, he's still Mbappe. Like, they're still, playing well on the pitch. Champions League football. I do disagree with the whole point of if he goes back to Barcelona, he wouldn't, they wouldn't be in the Champions League. He'd get him through into the knockouts every year because that's what he did towards the later stages of his Barcelona career. He ended up just carrying them forwards to places they shouldn't be. There is no possibility that I say no to Messi. I'm sorry. There is no possibility. There's no world where I go, the greatest player of all time. No thanks. It doesn't happen. You don't reject. This is like, I wouldn't go as far as blank.
We didn't reject him, Joe. We didn't reject Jack Grealish. We haven't.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, Park got one. Yeah.
Fuck off.
If you say no to Messi, I think you lost, to be honest. Like, he still has it. He's still in double digits for both goals and assists already. We are in October. Like, he's still absolutely ridiculous at football. He can still kick a ball. Like, he's still capable.
But Joe, he's out there delivering McDonald's and Uber Eats, for God's sake. Like, I'm not.
Come
no disrespect.
on, man.
I really like that. I thought that was a pretty good euphemism.
No disrespect to Messi, but playing in the Uber Eats league, I'm not. His double digits. Well done, mate. Fair play. That's a great job. That's a great job.
Yeah, but where's Jack Grealish's double digits delivering McDonald's?
Show me Messi's Premier League medal. Show me Messi's championship promotion.
We are having a live debate right now between Grealish and Messi. What the fuck is going on?
Show Messi jar of Brill cream.
How big are Messi's calves? Show me his headband.
I'm sorry. If you say no to Messi, you are a lost cause. Like, I'm sorry. It just doesn't happen. If there's an opportunity, you go for it. Like, it's Messi. Like, come on, he has the experience. He has the winning experience. He's still one of the best players going right now. Even at his age, he's still one of the best. Maybe not the best anymore, but he's still up there. Like, of course, I don't see a world in which this happens. I think he either stays at PSG because they'll blank check him, or he'll go back to Barcelona because he never really wanted to leave in the first place. But, like, again, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to turn around and go, nah, you're all right, mate. We'll go for someone else. We'll leave that there. You denied us twice. I'm not going to go that far, but I could, like, because we kind of talked about this over the last couple of days. Like, we were going to touch on this on stream. You just kind of sit there and go, I know it's not going to happen, but just imagine. Like, just imagine him turning up. Like, it's crazy. It's the thing of dreams.
Messi at City. It is. Apparently, anyway, according to Manchester Evening News, they say Man City Lionel Messi moved to complete Pep Guardiola's dream attack. His dream attack. I mean, I don't know where they're getting this information from. I know journalists are very savvy these days as to how they get their information from football clubs and managers and players, etc. But where on earth they've got this information, if it's true, that Pep Guardiola still believes Messi is part of his dream attack. I mean, Messi 7-8 years ago, 100%, I can understand why that's part of his dream attack. But I mean, what kind of role does Messi play in this Manchester City team? I mean, I know Revel touched on the fact that Riyad Mahrez isn't playing great at the minute. Messi could play on the right-hand side. Does he want to do that? Probably not. I mean, would he play in Ilkay Gundogan?
It's a right side on paper, realistically.
You let him do whatever the fuck he wants.
You'd have to reshuffle De Bruyne, wouldn't you? You'd have to give him sort of De Bruyne's role and just have him to stay further up the pitch. Messi isn't going to track back. He's not going to come back and defend. Like, I watched them, people, when City played PSG in the Etihad last year when we beat them. I think it was 2-1. I think Mbappe scored for them. I was at that. I was sitting in the halfway line in the third tier, so I had a great view of the whole pitch. And what you don't see when you're watching it on telly versus at the game is obviously the whole pitch. The camera follows the ball. Naturally, I spent a lot of time watching Messi when he wasn't even on the ball because I was so intrigued to see what does this guy do when he's not involved in play or when his team don't have possession. Messi stands on the centre circle. Messi stands on the centre circle with his hands on his hips as if to say, what you're all doing, I don't do. I don't do that. I don't defend. I don't track back. I don't get involved in breaking up attacks. That's not me. Yeah, I'll wait till you get the ball or my teammates. When you guys pick up the ball, give it to me. I'll do something then. Pep isn't a manager that likes that kind of player. Does Pep feel he could get Messi to do the running? Maybe. Is it realistic? Probably not at his age. And he'd be bollocks. He doesn't have the legs anymore to do that, essentially. So I don't know. Is he the kind of player Pep wants? And would we have to basically manufacture a brand new role and even to reshuffle our system altogether to fit in Lionel Messi? Is that something we're prepared to do? I don't know. I mean, lads, what sort of a role do you think he plays?
I think Messi's sitting on like a halfway line or like a touch line. Like not getting back is down to the PSG system. We've seen PSG's system, despite having like about 5 or 6 like world class players, they're not like, they don't go for teams. They like to sit back. They like to counter attack. That's why Messi was sitting around there so we can make something happen. Well, because City had all the ball. Realistically, that game, if I'm not mistaken, I think we had 65-70% of the ball against PSG, who had on paper the best front three in the world. We're still going out and dominating it. That was PSG's style. Then you sit back and hope you can get something to counter attack. I think you get Messi into this team. One, I'd say he'll care a lot more. He'll be under the Guardiola to and again, you have to realize Guardiola crafted this player. Like, he crafted this player in his days at Barcelona. He knows what he wants, and Messi knows what Pep wants from. If Messi's in that team again, I have to stress this. I don't think it's happening, but if in an ideal or whatever you want to call it, if in a world that this happened, Pep can get the very best out of him. You know he can. That it's a boy. Like it is his guy. He is that guy. He is him. He's the GOAT.
If anyone's going to do it, it's Pep. If anyone's going to get it out of him, it's Pep. Like, no one else will be able to essentially force Messi to do what they want, apart from Pep. It's not going to happen.
I think Pep's probably the only manager in the world right now that Messi would probably say, I'm excited to play for this guy. Like think about it. He's Lionel Messi. He's probably there thinking, I've done it all, obviously bar winning the World Cup, but I'm being the greatest player in the world now for 15 odd years. I've done it all. I'm the biggest name in world football that possibly has ever existed. There's no club or team that is going to excite me like it did, 10 years ago when he was trying to, become the best and earn his way, sort of thing. But the idea of playing under his favorite manager he's ever played under, essentially his creator, the guy who made him, was probably what would excite him. So that's why I think there is a reality to this. But I'm not getting myself too carried away because we've been burnt by this guy twice. But listen, in terms of Messi, I think the three of us would take him. Do we think it's going to happen? Probably not. If it does happen, you can see a live head shave of Dara Rebel on the 1894. We've already agreed that Mojis has the clip. We'll kind of move that into the next conversation, which is Bellingham. I want to touch in on Bellingham quickly as well, because I think there is a link in these two stories, in the sense that I said a few minutes ago that I think Messi is more of a luxury signing. We would be bringing Messi in. A lot of it would be for commercial reasons, because we know fine well, if we sign Messi, we're selling, a shitload of Lionel Messi Manchester City shirts. We saw the shirt sales with Erling Haaland. We sold more Manchester City shirts in July and August of this year than we sold entirely in last season altogether. You bring in Messi on top of that, you're selling Messi shirts, Haaland shirts, then you got your De Bruyne shirts, your Grealish shirts, whatever. The commercial stocks are through the fucking roof, probably like no one's ever seen before. Yeah, Manchester City all of a sudden becomes the most commercially monetizable club ever. Like, it's mental to think about. But do we need Lionel Messi? No, absolutely not. We don't. We have the strength and we have relative enough depth in the areas that Messi plays to be perfectly fine without him. We don't need to go out into the market and say, right, what do we need? Yeah, Lionel Messi, go get him. He's going to be our key. No, what the club are clearly identifying based on recent reports is that we need a new central midfielder. It's looking increasingly like we're going to say goodbye to İlkay Gundogan next summer. PSG, coincidentally, are very interested in İlkay Gundogan, and Bayern Munich are very interested in İlkay Gundogan. Apparently, Gundogan likes the idea of going back to Germany as well. It makes sense, Bayern Munich for İlkay Gundogan. So the club are going to identify a central midfielder. Obviously, the one we're all linked to, we spoke about on this channel. I've gone in depth about this guy. Jude Bellingham is the guy we need. Do we need to go out and spend 80 to 120 million pounds on Jude Bellingham and pay for Lionel Messi in the same summer? I just don't see it happening personally. I think we're not in a position where we need to refresh the squad entirely. We just need that one key player in the middle of the park, which is Jude Bellingham. And I spoke about this on City Extra last night with Lewis. It looks very like Liverpool are pulling themselves out or have effectively pulled themselves out of the race to sign Jude Bellingham. Liverpool feel they can't make it happen. And this comes as no surprise to me. I spoke about this on a number of shows recently. Liverpool are not a club that spend massive money every single summer. They are not going to pay for one player next summer what they paid or similar to what they paid for Darwin Núñez last summer. FSG don't operate like that. They simply don't. It makes sense. We're in a position where we can go out and spend the big cash because we need that one player. We don't need an overhaul. We don't need a refresh or replenishment. We can just pay for that one player. Now, Chelsea and Todd Bowley have thrown themselves in the mix to get Jude Bellingham as well, because I speak about this a lot. I feel these big clubs or clubs that have had a lot of success over recent years, they want to maintain their big name status. They want to be seen to be fishing for the big players just to maintain their big reputation. Barcelona did it with Haaland, even though they knew they never had a chance in the world of signing Erling fucking Haaland. It was just, they just signed Adama Traore and talked about signing Erling Haaland. Like, think about it, people. These clubs are PR machines. They want to maintain the whole idea of we're a massive club, we're the big dog, so we want Bellingham, we want Haaland. But behind closed doors, they're going, yeah, we can't get that. That's not happening. Anyways, Jude Bellingham to Manchester City, lads, I think is more of a priority than Lionel Messi. What do we reckon? Chat, what do we think? There's 47 people here. We're only on 30 likes. Get the likes up and subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. We're on the road to 5k. Lads, Bellingham is far more of a priority than Lionel Messi. And it's looking like City are going to push hard for Jude Bellingham. And to throw on top of that, I don't know if you guys saw, but after the game against Dortmund, Agent Jack Grealish,
you managed to worm him in any way, shape, or form.
No, this is completely coincidental.
You're trying to gas it up.
This is completely coincidental, right? After the game against Dortmund, the Dortmund player stayed back on the pitch to dance with the yellow wall. Ole, all that, the yellow wall going crazy. It was sick.
You dancing?
No, I was gone to the pub. And and Bellingham's walking off the pitch. Jack Grealish comes out of the tunnel, having already gone down. He goes up to Bellingham, hand over the mouth, and says something in Bellingham's ear. People, where have we seen the hand over the mouth before? Foden to Haaland 2 years ago. Mahrez to Haaland. Haaland to Bellingham. Hand over the mouth means signing. Listen, anyway, I'm going
Did you not hear the leak of what he said? Said, really looking to get some brack for us, mate. Where do I go for it?
Oh, that's no.
Yeah, have that, you prick.
He said something along the lines of, apparently Pep wants to see you inside, and Jude Bellingham played it cool. He was like, oh yeah, I'll go say hello to Pep. And I think it's perfect for Jude Bellingham. There's a project there. There's money there. There's trophies to be won. His best mate Haaland is there. Jude Bellingham is the perfect replacement for either Bernardo or Gundo if they're to leave. And now it seems to be a race between just us and Chelsea, and probably to some extent Real Madrid. I think we blow both of those clubs out of the water with what we have to offer. Bellingham, far more important sign to focus on than Lionel Messi. But you know what? If you can make both happen, go for it. Lads, Bellingham and the Liverpool thing pulling themselves out. Joey boy.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go.
Bellingham, I've been saying that Liverpool are pretty much out of the race already, considering they are miles away from the top four and playing any good football whatsoever. Maybe they get saved by doing another, what they did against that run when they came back against Milan, where they are utterly dreadful, but somehow come and fluke Champions League out their arse, because it is Liverpool at the end of the day, and that's where they look best. But at the end of the day, I agree with the whole price thing. They've gone and spent 80 million on fucking Central C. Are they going to do that again in the summer, when they possibly lose out on a lot of revenue from not finishing in a high league position or winning anything, essentially? No, they don't do that. I know the Coutinho money's still going about. I don't know how it's lasted this long, but, fair enough from my point. I don't go and look into their financial situation or emails or anything. I'm not that type of person. But I think that we are in prime. We're in pole position here. Prime target Jude Bellingham, because we're going to lose at least one midfielder. I don't think there's a world in which we just force Bernardo Silva to stay against his will. I don't think he's going to turn around and say, "Yeah, I'm actually all right here." There was actually a bit of news that came out. I forgot the actual source. I think I saw it in City Extra, but I forgot who said it. But it was Pep's a fan of Gundogan, which we already know that, and would like him to stay for his impact both on and off the pitch in terms of leadership. Of course, he's the club captain right now, what he does in the dressing room. So he quite likes the idea of maybe those 1 year contracts that he did with Fernandinho towards the end, where it's just 1 year. You still got it 1 year. You still got it 1 year, and then we let him go when either he wants to go or, his legs fall off, essentially. So I'm not too sure on Gundogan leaving. I don't know. I guess we're about to find out, really, aren't we? Because he's getting to the end of his contract, but I think we're definitely losing one of them. I don't see a world in which they both stay, so Bellingham has to be the target. I saw the idea of Musiala floated around. Musiala's not going to join us. Pretty sure he's not too far gone off a contract extension. He's happy at Bayern. He's going to cost more than Bellingham. Bellingham has 2 years left in his contract after, at the end of this season. So that whole, 80 to 150 million, that'll be narrowed. That'll be narrowed a lot, because entering the last 2 years of your contract, that's when the big decisions come. That's when you see the big clubs go, well, are you renewing your contract, or are we going to have to find somewhere else for you to go? Because you don't want to let it get to a year left and risk losing him for practically nothing or for free. So I feel like it'll be sort of closer to the 100 million mark, maybe. I'm not too sure. I guess it depends how far the bidding war goes. We know Chelsea have the money to pull it off. I mean, look how much money they've just come off of spending. We know that Barcelona, they can count themselves out, especially if they're going to go for Messi. They can't afford his wages. What do you mean Bellingham? They can count themselves out. Real Madrid, I think they can almost count themselves out. I know they've got an aging midfield, but again, they've just spent how much on Tchouaméni, and I think they're done. I really think Chelsea are probably the biggest threat right now, just simply because they've got the money and they will probably be in Champions League football, but there's no better place to be. He's got all his mates here. He's got Akanji. He's got Haaland. He's got Grealish in his ear, even though he's a Villa boy. I imagine they're not the best of friends, but they know each other from England's help. So, yeah, I'm hoping. I'm really confident on City pulling this signing off. I'm getting increasingly confident as, like you said there, Liverpool pretty much, calling themselves out of it. So I'm getting confident. I'm not making my mind up yet. I'm not going, I think it's definitely going to happen. It's a bit early for that one, but if I was to pick anywhere where I think he's going to go, I do think he comes to us.
I think so too. I'm really confident that City are going to sign Jude Bellingham. Tyrone Douglas says, "Man like Hugh, you did well with X yesterday." Listen, X is absolutely wild. That was one of the wildest Big Six shows I've ever been a part of in my life. He had me in stitches. Expressions. He's one of the goats, man. Expressions is absolutely box office. He's a really cool guy as well. I was chatting to him before and after the show. Really a genuine guy. What are people saying about Bellingham? I told you guys to get your thoughts in. Tarsh, he was the type of guy to be the first person to get a photo from Grealish and still involve him in the convo to be the GOAT. He is the GOAT. We know Grealish is the GOAT. He's been one of, if not the best player on the pitch in 3 or 4 games he's played against us. Bellingham, that's the thing. From what we have seen as City fans against Jude Bellingham is he's a notch above the Bundesliga. No, I like the Bundesliga as a league, I think it's a great breeding ground for top players, and we've seen that over the years, and we're reaping the rewards of it ourselves with the likes of Haaland and Gundogan and Sané and these kind of players. But every time we've played against Bellingham in the Champions League, 4 times now in the last couple of years, Bellingham has been their standout player. They didn't have Haaland, I think, for 1 or 2 of the games against us, but Bellingham was the standout player. He was absolutely phenomenal. And we were saying even back then when he was 17, if you remember that this guy is a special talent. Look at how Pep rotated Fernandinho and Rodri over the years. Pep can advise Bellingham to watch Gundogan work on the field from Dortmund lad to one Dortmund lad to another. Andrew says Bellingham is calm, composed on the ball, but more legs than Gundo, can get up and down, and is 19 and can only get better. That's what I think. I think something that gives us an advantage in the race to Jude Bellingham as well is the fact that we're an English football club and he's an English guy. I mean, as a born and bred Englishman, Bellingham is going to have a natural affiliation and will be excited by the prospect of winning England's biggest prize, which is the English Premier League. He's grown up in a world where Birmingham were involved in the Premier League at one point not so long ago. All his mates in school probably follow Premier League clubs, and you dream of winning the Premier League. There's no denying that he realises that right now there's no better club in England to be at in terms of chances of winning that competition than Manchester City, and he could sign a long-term contract with us. He could go on to spend 10 years with us. And the thing is with Bellingham, he has the capacity, if he signs now at 19, to be a future club captain. It's a mental conversation, but the guy has leadership qualities. He's mature, he's tenacious, he's audacious, he's all the adjectives you want to think of for a leader. Jude Bellingham is that. If Jude Bellingham signed now at 19 years old, the guy's still a kid, people. If he signs at 19 and spends 10 years at the club and keeps developing and growing at the rate he is now, he is a future club captain, simple as. I mean, we all like the idea of Phil Foden being a club captain, but I view Phil Foden as kind of like a David Silva. You'd give him the armband when the club captain isn't around, and he'd lead by example when he's at that age, because Phil Foden will be there at that age. But Bellingham is that leader. Bellingham will get stuck into his teammates if he's not happy. He'd be like having the personality of Ruben Diaz in the middle of the park, in the engine room of the pitch for your team. So for Bellingham, it would be a really shrewd long-term signing, and I think it's something that we're going to push for. And just like Joe, I feel very confident the club are going to get this deal done. I think City want this deal done. I said it last week or a week or two ago on a stream here that I know you can believe me if you want. I have some people that I know who are friendly with people who are involved in the club, and they said that City approached or held a meeting with Bellingham's representatives after our game against Dortmund a couple of weeks ago in the Etihad. Then obviously it looks like Pep spoke with Bellingham in Dortmund after our game the other night. It looks like City really want this deal, and like I said a few minutes ago, it's an area of the pitch that we need to strengthen. We don't need to strengthen any other area of the pitch badly, so we can pull the trigger on big cash here. We are more likely to spend big cash than anybody else. Chelsea, yes, I can understand why they're throwing themselves in the mix. Bit more of a project there. Potter versus Pep, who do you want to play for more? Obviously Pep Guardiola. Another factor for Bellingham is Pep's contract. The same conversation that we had in terms of Haaland to City, it'll be the same for Bellingham to City. Bellingham is going to ask City, how long is Pep staying for? Is he staying, and is it worth my while signing a long-term deal? Because one of the big pulls here, obviously, is Pep Guardiola. So, you know what? I think if a Pep extension is on the cards, I do think a Pep extension is happening, we're going to sign Jude Bellingham. I really think, and I think Chelsea will probably go for Declan Rice. I have a funny feeling you're going to see Declan Rice play for Chelsea in the next 12 to 18 months. So it's there for us. If we're willing to spend the cash, give him a signing on fee, give him his wages, really up his wages on top of what he's earning at Dortmund, Bellingham is going to be our player. Listen, I could talk all night about Bellingham. I'm a big fan of Bellingham. I think he's maybe slightly overrated, and after me bigging him up for the last 10-15 minutes, I do think he's overrated, not in the sense of his ability and his quality. I just mean like there's so much pressure on this 19-year-old shoulders from the media and from fans that he's maybe not that guy just yet. But the reason I want him badly is because he can be that guy, and under the guidance of our players and our manager, Bellingham can be that guy essentially. So I'm going to park the Bellingham conversation there for the minute and the Messi conversation there for the minute. I don't know what image Joe's going to put on screen next. Maybe just leave Messi there if there's nobody else. The Kvaratskhelia guy, we're not going to talk about him too much. He's only been with fucking Napoli for about 5 months now at this point. He has a contract till 2027. He's hit the ground running. It's not happening anytime soon. If we're going to get Kvaratskhelia ever, we have to get over the hurdle of De Laurentiis at Napoli, his massive contract, and the fact that we don't actually need to strengthen that area of the pitch. Do you guys have anything to say on Kvaratskhelia?
Is Napoli?
We kind of said that piece, didn't we? We said that piece a couple of streams ago. Would he be class? Yeah. Is it going to happen? No. Napoli tax is real, I'm afraid.
Like, people forget it's Napoli. It's not happening.
There you go. We don't have a good relationship with is it Antonio De Laurentiis? Is that his name?
It's like
Aurelian. Yeah. We don't get on well with that guy. If we were to go in for him, De Laurentiis is going to sit there and go 200 million because he has a contract for until 2027, and to buy that guy, his stocks are sky high right now. There's no way I see Kvaratskhelia coming. But Leao is out of contract in this coming summer. He'll only have a year left on his contract, so he's more of a possibility. But like I said about Messi, I don't think we need to strengthen in those areas. We still have Grealish, Foden. I know Mahrez is going through a rough patch. I still think there's good in Mahrez. I'm not on Mahrez's back. I still believe in Riyad Mahrez. Things just need to be tweaked. Certain situations need to arise. Mahrez is still someone that we should look to as a very integral part of our squad, although I don't want him to play tomorrow. We have Grealish and Foden. Bernardo can still play in the right. I don't know how long Bernardo will be at the club for. I don't know about Leao. I don't know about Messi. I don't know about Kvaratskhelia. I just want Bellingham, man. Give me Jude Bellingham. Listen, all these transfers, lads, all these names were linked with. Oh, and Mudryk. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I watched him play against Celtic twice. This guy is cold. Anybody in the chat there? Have you seen this Shakhtar Donetsk winger, Mudryk? He is he's cold. Honestly, he's way above playing for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's gonna be a top player very soon. I don't know his stats. I don't know how old he is, but I've watched him with my own two eyes, and he passes both the stat test on the 90 minutes that I watched and the eye test. He's a serious baller. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I know I'm going to be hit with a little cheeky thing here from Joe saying it's not that hard to look good against Ireland, but Mudryk was really, really good against Ireland, right? That was the first time I saw him because I remember commenting on his hair and how shit it was. But then when I watched that...
Hang on, that's a dig at Jack Grealish.
No.
Would you stop bringing him up at every single conversation?
One, it's not Grealish hair, I'm sorry, it's gel back, as in it is proper stuck to the cunt's head, right? It makes no odds, right? No odds, not how to talk about hair anymore, right? I think it's Michaela Mudryk, right? When I say, right? He is so good, right? Sorry.
Wait, what was that?
You're not reading the chat, and I said, Darren, mate, I could be Ireland. Shut up.
Right, go on.
Sorry.
You're rattled.
Oh no, the head's gone. He's a goal scorer winger for one. I know we said a lot about Grealish doesn't put up stats. This man does put up stats. This guy is really good. I think the narrative I'm hearing now from Mano for ages is they've turned down 40 million from Arsenal during the summer, and you can see why. If they're turning down 40 million, then he's worth about 80 to them now. Because the guy is tearing up, again, unreal in Champions League, putting up great numbers. Unreal for Ukraine, putting up great numbers. It's scary for whoever gets him. It is really, really scary for whoever gets him. But I'd really like City to throw the hat in the ring. I really would, because again, it's a goal scorer winger. We saw go on.
I was just going to say, do you know who I think is absolutely perfectly designed for Mudryk? Taking my City hat off here, Liverpool.
Oh god, yeah. He's proper goal scorer and pressing winger with a few tattoos.
He'd put some fucking pressure on Mo Salah.
Well, no, he's a left side, bro. He's left wing.
He was playing on the right the other night against Celtic.
Was he?
Yeah, he can play either wing. He's versatile.
He wasn't the one that side footed it out whilst being on the goal.
No.
That was the worst miss I've ever seen. I tell you what, though, Murray, I was more impressed with him in the reverse fixture, because I had it on him work. City were playing the same night. I had it on him work, and fuck me, he tore the. He was Juranovic is the right back, isn't he?
Yeah.
Got the arse torn off him. God love him. He was. It was like. Tell you what it reminded me of. Remember when we played Spurs? I was actually at this match. Fun fact: Spurs 2010 when Gareth Bale turned into fucking Messi playing left back, and Michael Richards had to get absolutely shreds torn off him. It was exactly like that. Juranovic got the Michael Richards treatment, I'm afraid.
See what people are saying in the chat since we started talking about Mudryk. Mudryk and Baena in January. Do you know what Baena is? Baena. Is it? I've never heard of him.
I have
Andrew.
not a clue.
Even
I don't know.
Yes, Luka Modric is looking like a good young prospect. I think Mudryk needs to polish his game a bit more. Listen, he's a raw talent, and I think he's still relatively young, or he is young. Mudryk. You can imagine what a top manager. He's what?
I've just searched him because I'm going to be completely honest. I don't understand the hype, but that's because I've never watched a minute of him kick a ball, so I don't know. His stats look good.
11 games, 4 goals, 0 assists.
No, this season I'm looking on Transfermarkt here. 11 games, 6 goals, 7 assists, all competitions. He's got 5 in 5 in the Champions League, 3 goals, 2 assists. So he passes the stat test. He does have a contract till 2026. So Shakhtar have a bit of bargaining there, but they don't have too much because they're not one of Europe's elite. We could bury that one. He's 21, turning 22 on January 5th. So relatively young, good age.
He got sent to the last game.
D1 says that Mudryk wants to go to Arsenal. He read recently. So
listen, if that's his standard, then he can go to Arsenal.
Oh, they're top of the league, man. Put some respect on Mikel Arteta's boys.
Shut
up. Moving on swiftly.
Here's a name, right? I haven't seen any links. This is more so United links. It's got Cody Gakpo is him.
PSV.
Yeah, he is him.
I don't think he's very good.
Shut up.
No, I watched him twice
Fucking
against
older than me, I
Arsenal.
want to be different.
I watched him twice against Arsenal. It was shocking.
Pussy clap. He is. I think pretty sure he's positive on goal contributions to games, including last night where again he got an assist. The guy, you can't look at that and say he's not a good player. It's impossible.
I think he's very overrated. And again, if United want him, then I want to stay clear.
Case says he's a better Rashford.
The bar's fucking low then.
I'm a better Rashford now. Yeah, but it's Joe. What was the last thing you said? What was the last thing you said? That if United wanted, then stay clear. United wanted Nathan Ake. United wanted Erling Haaland when he was younger.
No.
United-
Ranić wanted these players. Apart from Ake, all he wanted him just because he was left-footed.
It doesn't matter. He wanted Ake. Now he's the best centre half in the world. Best Dutch centre half I've ever seen.
I'm sorry, if United want him, I'm steering clear. Look at their business, man. Come on. Just
You
avoid
shut
that
up.
path.
Anthony didn't do anything bad last night.
Fucking Beyblade.
Actually, here, sorry, I know this is City stream, but I'm just thinking of European football and how bad it was, right? Emerson Royale kicked the ball out of play, and it was the best thing I've ever seen in the Champions League.
That was sick, man. That was a no look out of play.
That was the no look.
Look out of play pass. That was sick.
A no look.
Rashford for Ireland says Ranners. No, you're all right. You can keep him. Dar says, clock that more and more clubs like Brighton, Benfica are creating unbelievable talent. Cody Gakpo is a really good player. Don't underestimate this fella. It'll come back to bite us if he goes to United. Listen, they're always signing players that are apparently going to come back to bite us or come back to do a madness on us. You know, Anthony, the ballerina, doing twirls on the pitch last night. I'm not fazed by anybody United signed. United could go and sign Mbappe and Neymar tomorrow, and somehow they turn them into dog shit players. And I know they're doing all right now, Man United, but they've still got a long way to go before I go. Yeah, they scare me. But listen, the whole transfer conversation we've just had. The only player I really, really want that we talked about is Jude Bellingham. I think we need Jude Bellingham. We don't need Leao. We don't need Kvaratskhelia. We don't need Messi. We don't need Mudryk. They would just be nice look. And we don't need Gakpo to draw a line.
Not
over
even
that.
linked to Gakpo. Like, that's the thing. He's just been brought up in
I'll be
conversation.
honest, I just really wanted to talk about him. He is a very good player.
Okay, well, we've talked about him. Okay, moving on.
That's fine. That's fine. Right. Let's pull one out of there. Let's pull one out of Ryan Cherky. What a player.
Don't know who it is.
He was like 15 and 2 football managers ago and he was class, and now I just haven't had a word from him since.
Anyway, we're playing Leicester tomorrow, people, right? We're gonna move into the conversation about Leicester. Joe, if you want to get up an image, whatever you have prepared, or do you have them prepared for Leicester?
I do
Look what
have
John said.
stuff. Good.
Predicted starting 11. Now, people, as always, you see our predicted starting 11 on screen. If you don't agree with our predicted starting 11, that's perfectly fine, but fire your shots at this guy, the guy below me. He makes these starting 11s. I'm about to have a look at it myself. If there's any disasters, blame him. Rebel.
Sorry, no, I was pointing at him.
Okay, he's above you. Yeah, so
Sorry, I wasn't trying to do the finger
Yeah.
shit.
blame this guy. Player ratings, predicted 11s, Joe makes them. So fire your shots in. But listen, from what I've seen, it looks like the 11. It looks like he's done a good job here, Joe. Ederson, Stones, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo. I think that's pretty straightforward. Picks itself. Rodri, Bernardo, De Bruyne picks itself, and then my front three. People, this is known as Hughes' front three. Grealish, Haaland, Foden. There's goals there. Grealish goals, Haaland goals, Foden if he fancies one. There's goals in that front three. We may as well start with Erling Haaland on the Leicester preview because it was the talk of the press conference. It's not a press conference if it's not all about Erling Haaland. That's just the way it works these days. They like to just ask about Haaland. It's like they're in the stands in the away end. Haaland, tell us about fucking Haaland. He came off at halftime against Dortmund, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? Obviously, I was in the away end, and we were looking forward to seeing Haaland come out for the second half because we wanted goals. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't appear. I don't remember. Oh, we got a super chat. People, just before we go on about that, do you like the new graphic on screen for super chats? Anytime we get a super chat, this is going to appear on screen. Haaland pointing at you saying well done, and your super chat will appear on screen. Big up Joe, man. I know say fire shots at Joe if you don't agree with any of the things he makes, but he's done a great job. I think that's a nice little touch for super chats. Big up Nick Tull with the ZAR 14. I think it's sick. I think it's cold. Well done, Joe. Listen, Nick Tall with the ZAR14. Thank you so much for the super chat. Leicester either score 5 goals or they stink footy. Exactly, man. Leicester are a team that are up and down the season. They started off abysmally. Now there's a feel-good factor there. We thought Rodgers was going to lose his job, didn't we? And they turned it around. Remember there was a conversation, who's going to lose their job first? Gerrard or Rodgers? Rodgers won that battle, didn't he? Rodgers won that battle.
Because they couldn't afford to sack him.
He's
That was
got that
why.
Celtic in him.
They
He's
couldn't
got that
afford to.
Celtic.
They couldn't afford it. That was the reason. In Leicester, just couldn't afford to sack him, so they had to pull with his shit.
He is right. In fairness, he is right, but I wouldn't. You know what? Here's a hot take. Yeah. Now, I think I've actually done a U-turn on my position because this wasn't my position. I wouldn't sack Rodgers. Rodgers is a good manager.
I think so. I agree.
But
He's a good manager. I wouldn't sack him, but I wouldn't sack any manager with a 17 million buyout clause. Like,
yeah, oh god, yeah.
Any manager would have to pay 17 million to get rid of. I'm not doing. Anyway, listen. Thank you so much for the super chat, Nick Tall, and I hope you enjoyed the little graphic coming up on screen. Anybody who sends in a super chat, you'll get your super chat on screen. Haaland will point at you and say, "Well done." And listen, always appreciate the super chats. If you haven't done so already, people, there's 44 here, and there's only 40 or so likes. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 5,000. It'd be massively appreciated. Anyway, I was saying about Haaland before I went off from that cold graphic and the big super chat from Nick Dahl, is that he came off at halftime. Supposedly he had a fever and he had a sore foot, and I'm kind of thinking, oh, it's a bit weird. Okay, if he doesn't feel well, he's only human. Apparently, it's perfectly natural to not feel great, and he had a sore foot. Pep says he's not sure. I think in the press conference, am I right? The Pep said he's not too sure. What do you think of Haaland? They're going to do some sort of a fitness test on him.
He's gonna chance it. Like he said, he was gonna chance how he feels in the morning, but just this is via Luke South Citizen 284 that apparently Haaland has travelled. So,
well, there you go, people. Maybe Haaland is
fit enough to be on the bench. He's fit enough to play, which means he's fit enough to start. Which means, I swear to God, he better start because I can't see a scoring any other fucking way at the minute.
Big up Tyrone Douglas, new sub. Thank you so much. Anybody who subs, say it in the chat and we'll give you a shout out. Joe, the Haaland thing, what do you think about it? Do you risk him? Because if you do play him and he gets through the game perfectly fine, he doesn't, damage his injury further, he's going to get a week off because he's not going to play against Sevilla. So do you play him? Yes.
If he's fit enough to play, you play him. Why would you not? Again, he's going to get arrested midweek because that Sevilla game. We talked about the Dortmund game meaning nothing. The Sevilla game literally means nothing. Nothing can happen. We could get 5 men sent off and the game abandoned. It doesn't change anything. It just means we have 5 suspensions going into the knockout stage. That's it. Like, we won't drop from first. So yeah, if he's fit enough, you play him. There's no point putting him on the bench. Like, oh my god, we've got another super chat. I've just heard the noise in my ears again. Nick Toll again. Just want Haaland to point at me again. Fair enough. Fancy new.
If you want Haaland to point at you and your name to be under Erling Haaland, it's a super chat, unfortunately. Like, we don't ask for super chats, but with Joe, we agreed it would be a nice touch for people who do send in super chats to get a little graphic and Haaland to say point at you, or Haaland to point at you and say well done. So thank you again for the super chat, Nick Toll. Big up you, man. You're an absolute legend. Proceed, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, if he's fit enough, you play him. There's no point benching him because, again, what are you benching him for? Trying to save him from injury so you can play him in midweek? Well, he's not going to play that, and he's not going to the World Cup either. So even if if the guy is playing on an injury, he's got that recovery time in 2 weeks when we eventually send players off to their national teams. So I'd play him. The injury doesn't seem too severe. They cleared him of any major damage, and he was seen limping, but he was smiling. And the thing that makes me think he will play is that I know it was for sentimental reasons, so he got a great send off, but he was playing through a big injury when he was, coming to the end of his time at Dortmund. Like, he had his ankle pretty much snapped on international duty and just carried on playing for Dortmund on an injury. I think he's the type of player who will, if it's a little knock, he will still want to play because he will still want to score, he'll still want to break records. And let's not forget this, he gets paid a lot of money for scoring a goal, so I'm sure he'd quite like to collect his goal bonus. That'd be something on his mind as well, no doubt. But again, I think he'll play purely because I think he'll want to play. I think he'll know that even though it is a minor injury, he'll still want to go and score goals. That's the mentality that he has. He wants to play.
I know obviously we're chasing an overall team goal of winning trophies and picking up the 3 points every single week, but A player like Haaland is undoubtedly chasing personal achievements too. He wants that golden boot. He wants to break records. He wants to, keep building on what he's built so far. So he'll want to play. But my issue is with Haaland, if he's like, I want him to play, but let's talk about for a second if he's not to play. He's in your predicted 11. I agree. I think he will play. I want him to play, like I said. Who do you pick? Julian Alvarez. There's question marks over Julian Alvarez. People, obviously, we got very gassed about Alvarez. I think it's understandable to get gassed about any striker coming in from South America because there's so much talent there. He doesn't look like he scored against Nottingham Forest. He scored a couple of goals, but I watched him against Dortmund. He was struggling. He was struggling to get into the game. He didn't look comfortable. I think he's got a lot of adapting to do. He's got a lot of learning to do and a lot of settling in to do. I'm not for 1 minute sitting here saying Julian Alvarez is a bad player and he isn't going to be a great player for City. He may have had a bad night. Pep even spoke about it in his press conference today. He said, obviously, Alvarez is the next in line. He's the natural striker, but is Pep likely to do that? Are we guaranteed goals with Alvarez? I mean, you guys watched it on TV, the Dortmund game, I assume. So you probably got a better look at it than me because I was quite intoxicated. I drank a lot of alcohol, so I couldn't.
Doesn't sound like you.
I couldn't take in the game properly in the stand. Maybe give me an insight as to what you thought of Alvarez against Dortmund. Am I crazy in saying he wasn't amazing?
Different type of player for sure to Haaland. I mean, most strikers are these days more mobile, kind of likes to drop more so onto the channels. But he's also very raw. He's very, very raw. We have to realize again, like me and Joe said this, me and Joe spoke about this. We said that he is coming off a full season. He's coming off a full season from is it just the Libertadores? They play a league over there. Not
they play a league as well.
They play a league as well, right? He's coming off a full season. They operate like League of Ireland, you know what I mean? They operate in that league, so he's coming straight from that league into our league, into the Premier League with no respite. We're talking this could be his respite period. It's also him trying to farm his way into the team. We've seen when he's played with Haaland, when he's played beside Haaland, he has been a second striker. He's not been a right winger. He's not been because it's not his style. It's going to take ages. Let's be honest. It's going to take ages, especially for formulating around Haaland, formulating around that kind of player. It's going to take a while for Alvarez to break into the mold and, maybe even start playing as a secondary striker beside him. But it could happen. It could eventually end up happening. But this is one of those things where we've only spent about 17 million quid. I can give him more than enough. Like he has still got more than enough time before anyone gets on his back to gel in, because again, he's only a kid. He's coming to a new club where he's not even close to guaranteed to start. He's one of the best striker in the world. You have to give him time, in my opinion. I know you're not jumping down his throat just for the sake of it. You're going to give him time as well. I know I know exactly what you're saying here. Is he ready to lead the line? Absolutely fucking not. Like, if he, I'm sorry, I could sound awful here, but if he starts tomorrow, I'm not confident about a goal scorer and ability going forward because he just hasn't shown it properly. He scored a couple against Nottingham Forest and he scored against Liverpool. You've seen how bad Liverpool are this season at the back. Really, really poor. Scoring against Liverpool is not like at the right home, but at the minute, he has to be given time, and I really don't think that Leicester away is like a time to fuck him in the deep end and say, you're the 9 here. You have to go out and do something. You are the main goal scoring threat here because no one fucking else is really scoring goals. Like, if he's playing up top on his own tomorrow, he is that guy. I can't see it working out for him. Like, I'd genuinely rather go back to a false 9 tomorrow.
If you're being blunt, he's been poor. If you're being blunt, he's just been poor. Like, you can't skate around the issue that, yes, we were down to 10 men against Copenhagen. Yes, he was playing with a sort of kind of rotated team against Dortmund. That doesn't really get around the issue that he was just overall poor. He's a little bit petulant. He still leads into his press with his arms, giving people a little push sometimes, likes to get a book in that way. He's not like that clinical striker. Again, we're kind of moulding around Haaland here. We're going from 6'5" to 5'5". Like, it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same. So you give him his time to adapt, but at the same time, the drop-off is huge. Like, I saw Rennes, I think it was Rennes was saying we should go to the false 9. Or someone else, Rennes said he's more of a winger. Pep's not going to play him on the wing. He's not more of a winger. I think he'd be even worse on the wing, to be honest, because he just has that natural eye for goal where he wouldn't really stick out wide. Might have been D1 Millie who said we should go back to a false 9. I kind of agree, because it's something that we know more, we know that works, and I trust it. I just trust it more than Alvarez at the moment. I don't want to jump on him. Like, I don't want to jump on him like nobody else is doing this either. But yeah, you just have to be blunt sometimes. I go, listen, it's not working. You have to afford him more time. He scored a couple against Forest. It's Nottingham Forest. You just had to calm yourselves. Give him a bit more time. But Leicester's not the game. Leicester have hit form now. It's Leicester away. I wouldn't be starting him here. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be confident at all. But I will. One thing I will say is he hasn't actually played with sort of what you would consider the full strength team. Like when he played against Dortmund, you had Mahrez on the right, who was fucking piss poor as well. Like he's not really played with that sort of that front three in Haaland's place with Grealish one side, Foden on the right hand side, De Bruyne behind him. He's not played with that system yet, so maybe it'll be different with other players, but we're yet to see.
I think the worst situation for Alvarez tomorrow will be to have Mahrez beside him. I think if Alvarez is to play, listen, people, to summarize, I don't want people in the chat to get us wrong here. We're not jumping down his throat. We're not saying we don't want Alvarez to play. We think there's still a future for Julian Alvarez. He just needs more time. We need to afford him more time, like Joe said. If he's playing beside Mahrez tomorrow, I would expect another stinker from Julian Alvarez. I mean, what are people saying in the chat here? I have faith in him. No, Demon Millie says no one played well against Dortmund except Stones, and Ortega was really good against Dortmund from what I saw. Mr. Rook, image thinking if we lose to Leicester, it would be the other 10 players more responsible. The thing is, we need 3 points tomorrow. We need 3 points. It's not a time to fuck around. It's not a game where you can say we'll throw on a player that it might be a bit of a risk with. We can't afford to drop any more points, and our away form has been poor. We need to go out tomorrow and make a statement. We need to put in a good performance. We didn't play well against Brighton. We didn't play well against Dortmund there during the week, and we didn't play well against Copenhagen. That's 3 poor performances in a row. Now, I know we won the Brighton game. We drew both Copenhagen and Dortmund. They were not good performances, and our away performances this season have been poor too. And going to places like Leicester at 12:30, the early kickoff is always sticky in its own right, but going to a place like Leicester right now where they have a feel-good factor. Madison's playing well. They've won 3 out of the last 5 and drawn 1 of those, so they've only lost 1 game in the last 5. You don't want to go there taking risks. So I don't know, maybe chat, you can give me your thoughts too. I agree. My preference would be to have Haaland starting. Obviously, if Haaland can play Erling Haaland. He is the man that you can say, he's the best chance of goals. My second preference is revert to the false 9. Put someone like De Bruyne in false 9 and have a midfield of Bernardo and Gundo, and then put Foden and Grealish on either wing. I think putting Alvarez under that pressure of saying, right, you need to be the man to go and get us 3 points today, it's not the right time, it's not the right fixture, it's not the right place. Alvarez needs to be brought on periodically, given time to bed in, given time to get used to him, or to playing with Manchester City. I don't think it's the time for Julian Alvarez. Listen, there's about 55 people in the building right now. We're only on 50 or so likes. Smash the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We've just hit 4.14k subscribers. Keep subscribing. We're trying to hit 5k as soon as possible. Massively appreciate your support. Share it around. It's a great community. We're glad to have you all join us. But listen, your overall thoughts going to Leicester tomorrow, lads. I think it's a strong team that Joe picked in general. Is there anything you feel about the game? Anything that we haven't covered?
Dead fucking nervous. For what?
I'm nervous too. I'm more nervous about this game than any game we've had probably since the Manchester Derby. I was nervous about the Manchester Derby because when we actually looked at it, hindsight's a beautiful thing. We beat them 6-3, but before the game, we were saying, they'd beaten Liverpool, they'd beaten Arsenal. They were looking like they're possibly a big game team. They just didn't have the consistency to win every week. And then we beat them, obviously. This is, since then we played Copenhagen, Brighton, there's been another win in there somewhere, and we've got along fine. But this is a massive, massive, massive game. I mean, we've got, how many games is it to the World Cup? We've got,
5.
obviously,
5, I'm pretty sure.
It's 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks. So we've got Leicester tomorrow, Sevilla in the Champions League, you can write that off, then Fulham, Chelsea, and Brentford. So in the Premier League, we have Brentford, Fulham, and Leicester. That needs to be 9 points, people. That needs to be 9 points and no less. Arsenal aren't playing great football at the minute. They're looking like their lack of depth is showing at the minute. We need to capitalise on that. Arsenal play Nottingham Forest tomorrow, I believe, as well. You'd expect a win. So you'd expect Arsenal to pick up the 3 points. We can't afford to drop points. Leicester will set up to make a statement tomorrow. Brendan Rodgers knows his start to the season was very, very rough. He seems to be getting it back on track now, and he could really get his fans back on side, get the club playing for him, get the team playing for him again. through beating us tomorrow. It would be absolutely massive for them. So if we don't go in tomorrow with our A game, it stinks of a draw or even them nicking a win. What are we saying?
I mean,
100%.
it's the early kickoff. What does Gandhi say? Never back the early kickoff. I hate early kickoffs because genuinely, Liverpool, the last early kickoff, Liverpool lost to Forest. That tells you all you need to know about this sort of game where anything can happen. I don't want to say it's due to the time, but it always seems to be the early kickoff throws a wild result sometimes, if any result at all. So I'm not really looking forward to it again. Even though we did lose our unbeaten record away from home at Liverpool, we still hadn't been playing great away from home up until that point. Even though we've been unbeaten, we still haven't been great. There was a lot of draws in there. Look at Aston Villa, Newcastle, 2 draws where I can almost sort of put Newcastle to one side because that was sort of early season where we're not usually good. We were still trying to figure things out. But drawing away at Aston Villa when they were still under Gerrard is pretty much inexcusable at that point. I have to be clear. Like I hated that result so much because they were awful as well. But the thing about Leicester is it's a really bad time. We are now playing them when they've picked up form. When we did the Premier League weekend review, I think it was the last weekend's fixtures when they beat Wolves 4-0, they only had 5 shots. They had 4 on target and scored all 4. That is the sort of, form that kind of scares me because we're a team that we don't let up a lot of chances. So if a team's clinical, then they'll probably end up beating us because we only really give up a couple of good chances every game because we usually dominate the ball. But if Leicester are coming in that sort of form where they get half a chance of taking it, probably could cause us some damage. We have struggled against Leicester over years, even when they've been in bad states themselves. We've still struggled. It was only a 1-0 last year, even when we were playing relatively well. I think Bernardo Silva getting that winner in that game. So I expect it to be close. Regardless of, you look at the league table, you think, oh, this would be easy, 3-0 or something like that. I expect it to be closer than that. I just, it's something about Leicester. They are another one of those teams. They're almost like a better Southampton where they've caused us issues over the years and you wonder how they get results, but they just do. They are like Southampton or Spurs where we should be putting these teams away more often, but we don't.
Rebel, lower your laptop down a little bit, will you? There's a bit of an echo there. Listen, I just want to say, while there's 70 people in the building right now. That's the biggest number we've had in the building for a long, long time. 70 people. Thank you all so much for coming in. Please make sure you smash the like button. I'm going to give you an insight as to what our plan is for sort of the next week really quickly while you're all here, while the numbers are high. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 5k. The plan is, we're going to talk more about Leicester in a sec, but while you're here, I want to tell you this. We're going to do a review of tomorrow's game on Sunday night. And then when I was in Germany the other night, I spoke with Big Steve. I got on well with Big Steve. The plan is to get him on the channel at some point next week. So all of you who are big fans of Big Steve, you can expect him, or we're hoping anyway, to have him on the channel next week. So that'll be a pretty cool collab. And we're hoping to get maybe Daps on too. And there's a lot of collabs. We're really enjoying these collaborations we're doing. So make sure you subscribe, make sure the notification bell is on, and keep hitting the like button. We really appreciate all of your support on this channel. Mr. Rook, surely it's significant playing at lunchtime after having a midweek game. That's it. Joe just said it. What does Gandhi say? Never back the early kickoff. The early kickoff is always a sticky one. And basically, I echo massively what Joe says. Leicester is not the place you want to go right now. And an early kickoff when we're not playing great. I know we haven't lost since the Liverpool game. Sorry, that was the one in the middle there, wasn't it? I forgot about when I was naming the fixtures. We lost to Liverpool. We're not playing great football. Leicester is not the place you want to go. Tyrone says they always cause issues, but at the same time, it can't be a game where we miss chances and draw or lose. Then we blame the defender who made the mistake. That's just it. I mean, its overall team performances aren't great. I'm not saying it's one player has let us down. Obviously, Cancelo is the unfortunate culprit who made a mess against Salah for that chance. But the team isn't playing well, so we need to up our game tomorrow. Essentially, let me see everyone supporting the channel. That's it, Emily. Yes, you. More life and prosperity to all you and the man. That big up Tyrone, man. He's subscribed today. Really, really appreciate that. Man United are rubbish. West Ham will beat them 2-1 on Sunday. That's what I said in the Big Six last night, and I got stick for it. I think there's a loss coming from. I keep predicting United to lose, and they keep fucking winning. But it's coming. I'm gonna be right one of these days. Listen, tomorrow's game against Leicester, I think we've said all we can. It's an absolutely massive game. I'm nervous for it, genuinely. I hate these half-12 kickoffs. Leicester, as we've all agreed, are a team that have caused problems for us. I mean, the 6-3 last season, do you remember, was it on Stephen or Boxing Day?
Yeah, Stevens. I was in work watching it, and I was watching it like this.
Yeah, man, that was a sticky game. That 6-3. I thought we were making a bollocks of it. Like they are a team that can cause problems. There's the feel good factor there. But listen, we're gonna move into score predictions now in a second. So, guys, as we're talking about our score predictions, make sure you get yours in the chat. I'll read some of them out. As always, the rules are: give your score prediction, say who you think is going to score a goal. If you think Erling Haaland's going to score a goal, put Erling Haaland in brackets. I say 2-0 City, Haaland in brackets, Grealish the actual goal, because Haaland is a cheat code. If you think Haaland's going to score, put it in brackets. We want to know who else might score. Let's shake it up a little bit. May as well start with you, Revel. What's your score prediction? Sticky game tomorrow.
2-0. John Sounds. Blood clot.
2-0 Johns. I assume you think Haaland's going to get the other one.
I don't know.
Give us some more, mate. We're making content here.
Come on, man.
You want the two scorers, right? So John Sounds is getting one. If Mama Blood Kanji was going to score, I'd say him. But he's not going to play. I'll switch it up for the beat one time because I'm not 100% confident if Haaland's going to play. Do you know what, Murray?
Wait.
Oh, wait, I'm waiting.
Say it now.
I'm going to say, since he's got the short in, I'm going to say Jack Grealish is going to score.
Super Jack.
You know what? I was going to turn around and say Rodri was scoring after he pulled the jersey and all that, but I thought it would just be too cruel.
I was going to say, I was half hoping you'd turn around and say Phil Foden.
Just be clear, I'd have been kicked off the channel.
Yeah, I would have sacked you on the spot, live and direct in front of people. But
you would have been Gus Poyet.
Listen, I get gassed when people predict Grealish goals. People are getting their thoughts in here. Joe, will ask you now in a sec. Tyrone says tough 2-1. Bernardo and Grealish to score. Listen, people, I get gassed when you predict Grealish to score, and I think we need to manifest it, people. This 1894 community we have here, we need to manifest Grealish to score. He's our guy, people. Grealish is our guy, whether you actually think he's playing well or not. Those rival fans want to get in your head. The United fans, Liverpool fans, they want to say Grealish is shit and he's been a flop. We need to back our guy. We need to big up Grealish. He's a sick guy. Big him up. Keep predicting Grealish. Keep telling the rival fans Grealish is the man. Keep telling them that Grealish has more Premier League medals than most of their top players. Darsh, 4-2 City, Rodri, Grealish and De Bruyne braced. I take all these City wins, man. I take a 1-0 tomorrow. I just want 3 points, but I'd also like a good performance. Kerwin, Leicester 0. There's no City score. Football icons 4-2 Grealish, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Cancelo. 4-2 be absolutely massive. Luke Grealish double hat-trick 6-0 win. Tyrone, Cognac, Grealish, blood. Exactly, mate. Andrew, he's going to pick Mahrez again, isn't he? Listen, I don't want Mahrez anywhere near the pitch tomorrow, people. You can go 1 sec. I
have a hot take.
I'll let you speak in 1 sec. With Mahrez, I consistently tell you, people, don't get on his back too much. Mahrez has given so much to this club. He's still a big player. He's a big moments player. I understand he's not playing great, but for right now, Pep, leave Mahrez out. Grealish, Haaland, Foden. Curran meant 3-0 City against Leicester tomorrow. Go on, Revel. What were you saying about Mahrez?
If the false nine's pulled out, I'd start him.
You'd start Mahrez if the false nine is pulled out.
Well, I'd start myself over Mahrez, regardless.
Purely because I did turn around on this isn't me doing a double take, by the way, because I stand by what I said. I said his best capability in that City team is goal scoring. When did he play his best football? When we didn't play with a striker. Realistically, that is the true one. We didn't play with a striker. That's when he played best, because he always came out with a goal. If we play without a striker tomorrow, I can see him bagging. But I will say, I do think we will have Haaland starting. I'm not 100% confident. That's why I didn't put him down to score. But I do think he probably will.
Joe?
Here's the mental thing, right? We have had... Last season, we had 2 wingers who were predominantly right-sided wingers, who both... Their success both depended on a number 9. One of which being really good without one of them which being really good with one, and we saw the one that was really good with one. I know he wanted to go, but that is just mental to me. Jesus Christ! Now, if Mahrez starts, then we're not scoring until he leaves the pitch. And there's I love this thing about big game player as well, because the 3 last penalties that he's missed have all been big penalties. So I love that one. But no, he's not going to start. This
Joe, Tyrone. Joe Tyrone says, "Man, Joe is hilarious. Did you just say you'd rather start yourself?"
Yes. I'd put myself at right wing before I put Mara. Listen,
Unfortunately, I don't think Joe is going to be talking out for Manchester City tomorrow. Can you confirm live on stream that you won't be playing for City tomorrow?
yeah.
Oh, don't confirm it now. Leave them in limbo. Don't confirm. Don't confirm.
No, I will
You'll have,
confirm.
you'll have to wait till an hour before kick-off, people, to find out if Joe is
Wait
starting.
till
or tomorrow.
listen. 11:30. Turn your notifications on for the team sheet. You'll find out.
Anyway,
We've got a new face in the starting 11.
New signing.
you see Joe
And
there.
it was 5 seconds before the team. It was just Joe. No, it's a picture of him with the headphones on and the glasses on.
You may as well go for your score prediction, Joe.
My score prediction is 2-1 because I never bet the early kickoff. I think we'll win just about. I don't think it'll be pretty whatsoever. I think we'll be 2-0 up and then concede in the last 10 minutes. It'll be absolute chaos. But in terms of goal scorer, I've got a bit of Kevin De Bruyne. I haven't picked him up in a while. He was my resident hated player for last season. So Kevin De Bruyne to get at least one tomorrow.
So 2-0 from Dara, 2-1 from Joe, and I'm gonna go with I'm going to go with a 3-1. I think we haven't played well in so long. I think there's a big performance pending. Now, like I said, I am still nervous about this game. I still think it's going to be a tough game. I expect Leicester to put up a big fight, but I think we are due a big performance. And like I said, the team knows that we can't afford to drop any more points. I would expect Arsenal to beat Nottingham Forest. We can't afford Arsenal to build any more of a gap that they can take into to January after the World Cup. We want to be on their tails, if not ahead of them by the time the World Cup ends. I think a 3-1 City, and I'm expecting a good performance. Aryan, hi, I remember me, it's Aryan, the Indian who pranked you in the Athletic. Aryan, of course I remember you, my friend. Tyrone, I found the channel yesterday and he was not having Maras yesterday. I was new, so I wasn't sure if his form or an agenda. I had to ask.
I remember that one. He had to make sure that it wasn't an agenda. It's not an agenda as of current.
Curran says, like the stream. Absolutely like the stream if you haven't done so already, people. Dar says, Scott Carson to score the winner. Hugh, remember Grealish will take time to surpass the GOAT. Listen, I forgot to say who I think will score. Grealish is going to score a hat-trick. That's my prediction. This is my new account. I subscribe. Thanks, Ryan. Listen, people, we have our score predictions there. It's a massive game. We talked about the transfers. There's still 55 of you with us right now. We really appreciate all of you coming in. Anybody who got active in the chat, we massively appreciate it. Honestly, it's so great to chat to all of you and see you guys give your opinions and your thoughts. It helps us have more of a conversation when we get your thoughts and your opinions. It helps the conversation flow. So we're very grateful to have you involved. We're getting close now to 4.2k subscribers. We're very rapidly on the way to 5k. We'd love to hit 5k by 2023. That would be absolutely huge for us. We'd love to hit 5k, and as always, you guys can make that happen. You guys sharing it around, hitting the like button, hitting the notification bell, subscribing if you're not done so already. It helps us hit those goals. But listen, like I said, the plan is we won't be streaming tomorrow. The game is at 12:30. We don't usually stream the day of the game at all. Maybe we'll start doing it in the future if the channel grows and you guys want to see us the day of the game. We might even bring back live watch-alongs. If you guys are new to the channel, way back when we were a much smaller channel, we used to do live watch-alongs. If you guys want to see it, we might bring them back for big games and you guys can watch the games with us. I also said that we're hoping to get Big Steve, the big dog, Big Steve, the man himself, on the channel next week. He said he's up for coming on and having a chat with us. If you guys want to see Big Steve, make sure you have the notification bell on and send Steve a text. Let him know that the 894 wants to see him. We can make it happen. I don't see why not. We could see Daps. We could see maybe the City Extra lads. We've done a lot of collaborations. We got to know these people and they're good friends of the channel. If you want to see them, you let us know. It's up to you who you guys want to see, and we will make it happen. Listen, as it stands, we'll be back on Sunday night, the usual time, about 10:30. Keep your notification bell on in case we go on a bit earlier. I'm not sure what the plan is, but we'll be back on Sunday to talk about hopefully, people, cross your fingers that we can pick up the 3 points tomorrow. Absolute massive game. Once again, thank you all so much. You pack of absolute legends. We'll see you on Sunday. Good night and God bless. Joseph, wrap her up, you mad thing.
Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand, 'cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, you just believe, you just believe, you just believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. If you just believe, if you just believe, if you just believe, if you just believe, if you just believe, if you just believe, Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. Just believe. You just believe. Just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. Just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You just believe. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart, heart. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand. 'Cause you are the one for me. Just believe. You just believe. Just believe. Just believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart. Tell me that you understand.